Let's not talk about like Fernando's holidays. Let's talk about the tiny splinter in my thumb. That's
big news. That's going to be a pain in the arse for you till you get it out.
It's going to be a pain in the thumb.
Pain in the thumb, indeed. Oh.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, let's take that off.
Now.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I get the feeling you've been sitting on this one for a while, Laura.
Since January.
Okay.
I watched it for the first time in January.
Oh, I figured this was one of the ones you'd watched a million times since you were a kid.
No, never seen it before
that
January.
Shaped who you are or something. Okay, since January.
Yeah.
Well, Highlander.
Highlander.
Fernando, what did you reckon?
I thought that Thor Ragnarok was the greatest movie ever, but I was wrong. It is Highlander.
Yay!
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call something the greatest movie ever whilst sort of simultaneously insulting it somehow.
Well, I didn't
Claire, what
hear
did you think?
Well, I just thought it was terrible, didn't I?
Of course you did. Because you're sensible. And it was a terrible movie.
It was just rubbish. Zero redeeming features.
So, cards on the table early there. I think we've got a clear 2 versus 2 division then.
What?
Perhaps Laura and Fernando would like to explain the wonderful things about this film.
Explain yourselves,
Hang on,
guys.
what?
Come on.
Michael, you can't tell me you didn't enjoy it. Got it.
This was a shit film. I wouldn't say I completely didn't enjoy it, but I enjoy it in the same way that, like, when you're going past a wreckage at the side of the road, you sort of slow down a little bit to get a little look. It's not because it's good, but it's because you're kind of morbidly curious to find out what's happening. And that was my position with Highlander.
Oh, we're on the same page then.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, right.
This is not a good film.
Yes. Right.
This is
Maybe
a
we
bad
are on the
film,
same page.
but it's such a great bad film.
I'm tempted to agree with you on that.
I've got many reasons why. So many reasons why.
For the moment, I'm in a bad film camp.
Just a bad
for the record.
Film.
Nothing redeeming,
bad.
okay.
It's not ideal.
What did you like, Laura?
Oh, from the moment Sean Connery's sweet voice started to tell me that immortals had lived among us.
From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last.
Never before being seen, until now, being chased out of their villages, which is already a contradiction.
Yeah. Sean Connery did a lot for this.
And then Queen starts playing, and I'm like, oh, wow, amazing. And it just starts getting better and better. There's a wrestling match. We don't know why. We don't care why. It doesn't come up again. They're just watching some wrestling. Then they're in a car park. Oh my god, they're sword fighting. Who knows why? Again, we don't need to know yet. Then, instead of running, a man decides to flip his way to the end of the...
Yeah. Oh. That was some good visual inefficiency.
That was great. I could go through the whole film like that. Just being
flipping.
like,
I liked
happening?
In the car fight scene, they were like running along the cars, like on top of the cars instead of just hopping off and running normally. That was pretty good.
And doing flips.
Doing flips. Yes, it was...
Hiding your weapon at the scene of the crime.
Very much a big... a big fights focus rather than a storyline that makes sense focus, right?
I don't know if that's fair.
No?
I think there was a perfect balance.
I know that is not fair.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Fernando. There's a perfect balance.
Great story as well.
Of action, character development, messages, mystery,
Irrational behaviour.
Yeah.
Misogyny, yeah, characters who
deliberately poorly explained storyline. Obvious exposition.
That's what I said. Mystery.
Need I say more?
No, you don't need to say any more.
I think you need to go into this film with the right mindset. It sounds like you're in the wrong mindset. You should watch it again and be prepared to have more fun.
I had quite a lot of fun during this film. I think it did drag a bit. It didn't need to be this long.
I agree. It should have been an hour and a half max.
Yeah. And the sword fights went on for ages, and they were actually pretty boring. The first one with him jumping on cars and stuff, that was kind of cool. Again, could maybe have halved it. But
so, Fernando, you actually like this? Is that the impression?
Come on.
I guess I did like it, yes.
Wait, did you?
I thought...
In the same way you liked Thor Ragnarok?
I thought I was watching the wrong movie until they started with the scenes of Scotland, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the right movie. And then I understood that it was a great film. Yes, I think that everyone should watch it. Why did I not know of the existence of this film? And everyone kept complaining about I think, movie about Scotland that I think it was Mel Gibson made, and everyone makes fun of it. I think they should not watch that one, and they should watch this one instead, because this one is pretty...
yeah, way more representation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's nice to have Scottish members of the cast. You know, those films, they normally cast English people
who do attempt Scottish accents and do a really bad job of it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this time they just told them, don't worry about the accent, just sort of go for it, see what happens, and we'll just put it in the script that you're Scottish.
Drinking with us, are you?
What's the matter, Dougal?
You, talking and breathing, and last night all but a corpse. How did you manage that, Conor MacLeod?
Would you rather I was dead?
It's not natural.
Oh, and then they were like, Sean Connery, we need to have someone with a Scottish accent in this film, so why don't you just keep yours?
Yes, we'll have the Spaniard be the only actual Scot.
Why was he the only one? Ramirez, who was Egyptian, not Spanish.
Greetings. I am Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, Chief Metallurgist to King Charles V of Spain, and I'm at your service.
Who?
Juan Sanchez Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, that was... Why? Why couldn't they have had him? But why did he have to be Egyptian? Why couldn't he at least have been Scottish? It was just
because Spain. He's 2 or 3,000 years old. Michael, do you think Spain was around 2,000 years ago?
Well, I guess not.
I mean, how
why
likely
was he Scottish?
would it be that 2 of the Immortals were Scottish? That would just be ridiculous, Michael.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, that was appalling.
What a great moment when he turns up.
You wee haggis.
What is haggis?
Oh.
You look like a woman, you stupid haggis.
Haggis? What is haggis?
Sheep's stomach stuffed with meat and barley.
And what do you do with it?
You eat it. How revolting.
Oh, Sean, how could you bring yourself to say
so
that?
naff.
Yeah, I loved it when he
Sean
turned up.
Connery, isn't it? Sean Connery's been in a few really good films, but he's done some crappy B movies as well.
Yeah, he really has.
This was one of them. Do you ever see Dragonheart?
Oh, how dare you? That's a wonderful film. I watched that the other day.
I'm going to say Dragonheart is basically the kids' version of this.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just this naff, low-budget story that doesn't really make sense. You should watch the sequel if you like the first one. That's even worse.
I've seen them all. I got the box set. There's loads of sequels.
Oh my god. I thought there were only 2. Yeah,
There's at
those were
least
pretty
5.
dreadful. Yeah. So what did you reckon, Fernando? Did you enjoy all the very, very convincing Scottish accents?
By the Swedish actor.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, I certainly did, yes.
Connor MacLeod.
I've been around.
Yeah. It's a kind of magic.
Ballsy move, just kicking someone into the lock and hoping they don't come and kill you afterwards.
Oh, do you mean when Sean Connery did that?
Yeah.
Had he explained to him how they could die at that point, though?
I don't think so. I think this is when he said he was immortal.
Oh, yeah.
And then later was like, but you can die.
Yes, so what was it? You had to cut the person's head off in order to kill them.
The head has to come away from the neck, yes.
The head has to come away from the neck. And it just occurred to me that why were they not all killing each other straight away?
Yeah.
Or why could they not all why could there only be one?
There can be only one.
There can only be one, Michael.
There was some kind of impression that something was going to happen and they were going to have to fight each other to the death. But it never became clear what that was. They just all kept fighting each other occasionally, but it was really only the one of them and the rest of them.
Yeah, it was only one of them who kept saying... Well, they all kept saying that, but only one of them kept trying to kill everyone, and the rest seemed like good pals.
Exactly. What's going on?
And let's not forget that they were all killing each other for the prize of being mortal and being able to die.
Oh, yeah, which is what they want, so why don't you just let them kill you? No. Weak, just not thought through.
No,
real
they didn't
B-movie
think
stuff.
anything through. It's great.
No, wait, you also know about everyone's wishes and thoughts.
Oh, that's true. Don't forget that aspect of the prize, that he could read all the thoughts of all the people in the world.
You know the answers to all the questions.
It sounds like two kids at a sleepover being like, imagine if you could read all the thoughts of everyone in the world. And imagine if you were immortal, but maybe like then if you get your head cut off, you die anyway. Just coming up with these crazy ideas.
But that like they're not immortal then, are they? Like this is like it's like they had this whole big idea about people being immortal and there's going to be this massive battle and they're like, but if only one of them can survive, they need to be able to kill each other somehow.
Yes.
Quick, think of something.
We'll still say they're immortal, but we'll just go back on that.
Yeah. And we'll not have them just wear like big metal cages around their neck to protect them.
That'd be the smart move, wouldn't it? I guess it would be a giveaway, wouldn't it? It'd be like sort of Achilles going into battle with just a massive shoe.
But if he'd gone into battle with just a massive shoe, he would have survived, wouldn't he? So
well, I guess someone would have figured it out and would have like pulled his shoe off and stabbed him in it, whereas maybe if he just went in without any armour, what's the chance he's going to get hit in the ankle?
Well, you say that.
Turns out that did happen to him.
Anyway, it doesn't make any sense, but that's therein the beauty lies.
Well, I think what bothers me is there is something in there. I feel it reminded me of American Gods in some ways. Just this, because that was kind of about something like that.
Okay. Was it better?
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic, so, yeah. So, yeah, I feel like there is a decent story in there. They just just chose not to tell it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weak.
I'm not sure there is a decent story in there. I think they executed the story they had perfectly. I don't think there was anything else to get out of that.
Oh, you're so wrong. There was so much promise in a story like that. Like there's a few people who are almost invincible and never age, and so they live many, many lifetimes of everyone else, and they just move on, go through the world, trying not to draw attention to themselves. And there's some conflict that they need to fight each other, and there's one of them that's trying to hunt them down, and they battle him over the centuries. That's cool.
It's an inverted Buffy, isn't it? With Angel as the one vampire who is out to get rid of all the rest.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that
and that's compelling.
Yeah, exactly. It worked for that show, didn't it?
But unfortunately, they decided instead of really doing much with that, they would have a lot of random sex scenes and
extremely gratuitous sex scenes.
Very gratuitous sex scenes. And half-assed script writing that doesn't really ever wrap anything up and doesn't really just makes you not quite know what's going on. And so many explosions. Oh, good lord. Yeah, just appalling, squandered opportunity for a good film.
We're like, Sean Connery, he's the guy for this.
I almost wonder if it felt like they might even have had a good film on their hands, and then someone brought Sean Connery in and he just hammed it up, made it all ridiculous, and then told them how to make a few changes and ended up putting a ton of synth in, getting Queen to do the soundtrack, and yeah, I feel like it was only a few directorial decisions away from being all right.
I'm not sure I'm with you with there. I think every scene would have to be completely scrapped and written again because every scene was ridiculous.
I suppose so.
But there wasn't a scene where I wasn't like, what? That's not how people behave or talk or do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe you're right. The core.
Well, maybe not now, but what about in ancient times?
Yeah, maybe people were just really stupid back in medieval Scotland.
Yeah, I suppose those bits maybe made sense, but a bit more. It was more the New York stuff where I was just like, oh, you're throwing a lot of balls in the air. You're not catching any of them.
Yeah. Oh, it was weak.
The police investigation, which, why is no one solving that murder? A guy got his head cut off and they were just like, yeah, you can go. You've just punched a police officer. That's fine, though.
Yeah. Oh, and the way the police were talking, that I'm sure if we read the script, it would be ridiculous. They were just like, hey, buddy, get down, buddy, get down. Instead of telling him he was under arrest, they were just, yelling these slightly weird phrases and then...
Watch it, Free, just call it. Watch it, watch him. Move! Come on, move! Come on! Get up! Spread him! Come on! See some ID, pal.
Don't even breathe.
Saying, yeah. And then he said something about New Jersey and they all leapt on him and it didn't make a lot of sense.
Would you go down there for a blowjob, Nash?
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, weird, cartoonish pile of rubbish. Again, I mean, it was creative. They had some ideas, that's for sure.
They certainly did, yes.
And I mean, so I think we were saying this for some previous films. I hate it when a film feels like it has compromised. And there's too many films that feel like they're just compromised messes where some money guy got in and said, "Oh, we think it would be good if you did this." And this didn't feel like that. This feels like a sort of a small group of creative people had a vision and really went for it. And it deserves some marks for that. Would you agree with that?
I think you said the same thing about Southland Tales.
Yes, I think that that is not the only parallel I would draw between these two films. Would you agree with that at least, Claire?
That at least they committed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's hard to argue with that.
It wasn't a mediocre film, was it? It wasn't just like, oh, whatever, another one of these films, oh my god, like, I don't know, like Spencer Confidential. it was
Oh,
excellent.
the lines.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about the dialogue.
Right. Tell us about the dialogue, Laura.
Oh, there were just so many things that just made me laugh out loud, because I was like, there's just, you wouldn't say that. Number one, my favourite line, "Do you cook? I was thinking we could have dinner." What a line.
Outrageous. Made me so angry.
And
just because it's such a bad line, or
no, because of the presumption. The misogyny is just outrageous.
You're a woman, presumably you cook.
The sentence construction. Do you cook? I was thinking we could have dinner. The implication being, you will cook me dinner.
That's some proper 1500s attitudes right there. Oh, he was a dick, wasn't he? He was an unpleasant main character.
Extremely so.
But I think he was meant to be charming and lovable.
Yeah. Nice place, Brenda. Yeah. What an off-putting man.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get involved in his struggle, you know?
Yeah, well, hard not to, right?
Well, I guess. Just while we're on it, though, second favourite line is when she's in the library and the guy is piecing together his handwriting, and then, not knowing any of the context, he turns to her and is like, "What you've got here is the guy who's been creeping around since the 1500s. Like, this man is mad. He should be fired.
Yeah, that's not the obvious conclusion, is it? You don't think, oh, this is definitely an immortal. You think, oh, something looks dodgy here.
The computer error. I mean, what else does he believe in?
He's probably crazy enough to believe in ghosts or something. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean that scene, they had jotted down the synopsis for this scene. They said, like, the police figure it out, and they tried to write the police figuring it out, and they just failed. So they just had someone making a massive leap of logic that didn't quite make sense, right?
Yes.
So my favourite line, is when he screams at her, "Don't ever follow me again," having essentially stalked and kidnapped her, then got into a fight. And then she checks if he's okay, and he just rages at her.
She did follow him for some way after their previous chat, right? Like, to see where he was going.
Yes, that was insensitive of her.
Well, she could get her head chopped off by a crazy Russian man. He was telling her not to follow him because he cared.
Yeah, that's why he followed her in the first place.
Yup, real good guy.
There were some good lines in this anyway. I quite enjoyed the quote before he shoots the Nazi.
Oh God!
Nein, erst musst du mich erschießen.
Whatever you say, Jack. You're the master race.
And then shoots him with a machine gun. It's great.
Oh, that would be... I would have cut that scene, to be honest. I believe they did cut it.
That scene was great.
Oh, okay. I thought it was chaff.
Oh, but it explained the whole the whole thing with this woman that randomly lives with him, right?
I suppose that would have been confusing if you hadn't got the background of him.
Yeah. And again, that's a hint at a great film. That would be really cool. There's this, like, 50, 60-year-old woman that lives with him, and no one quite understands why. But we know and they know that he saved her when she was a little girl in the Second World War. That's cool. That's a good touch.
Yeah, they could have. But if they wanted to do that, they should have leaned more into that rather than just being like, let's have one flashback scene.
Yeah,
no, they had two, but which another one was just completely superfluous. Was the duel where he was just really drunk and kept dying, and I was just like, oh, get on with it. I mean, amazing, but we get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we're focusing a lot on the negatives, and we should really turn to the positives.
Right, I'll shut my book then.
Claire is in the situation of not being able to say something nice.
Yes.
I mean, what I've said doesn't make sense.
One nice thing to say. Yeah, I think they got something right, because I think Glenfinnan is on the shores of Loch Shiel, which is unusual.
They did a Google.
Films.
I suppose
Pre-Google.
Pre-Google, yeah. Well done.
Someone got an atlas out. Or possibly went on holiday.
So that's me done with nice things to say about the film.
I think I've got some good things to say. The final death sequence of the baddie was pretty cool. A lot of good special effects and like excitement and stuff. And then they ruined it by just having everything explode. I didn't understand why so much stuff exploded when the Immortals were fighting each other. It's like when they were battling in Scotland and they like go up the stairs and then half the building falls over and then they fight a bit more and the other half of the building falls over.
What a shoddily built castle. My God. Amazing it hadn't come down before.
It was so
a slight knock and 5 bricks fall off. Maybe that was the quickening, though.
Maybe that was the quickening.
I think
but
that was
the quickening didn't happen till 300 years later, right?
I don't know, because Sean Connery kept... No, that was the gathering.
Oh, that was the gathering. What was the quickening?
I don't know, they just kept shouting, it's the quickening! Sean Connery was like running, and he was like, do you feel the stag? Do you feel the stag's heartbeat? It's the quickening! And then when they met up and there was lightning, and he was like, that's the quickening!
It's the quickening.
This is why we need to watch the sequel, which is called Highlander, The Quickening.
Oh God, there's a sequel.
Do you want to... My sister read out a little blurb of the sequel.
Yeah,
do you want...
let's hear it.
I need to look it up, but it was something about Highlander and Ramirez we discover their home world, in which they have to go back to try and fix the supposed holes in the ozone layer.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, here we go. Highlander 2, The Quickening, 1991. In the future, already bad, Highlander Connor MacLeod must prevent the destruction of Earth under an anti-ozone shield.
Anti-ozone shield?
Yeah, featuring Sean Connery as Ramirez.
What's an anti-ozone shield?
It's... God knows. Highlander 2, The Quickening. Let's not watch that.
Oh, well, it's not really up to you, is it?
It's true, it's not.
Ozone's good.
Oh, no, I think they're fixing it. So the letterboxed one is, it's a kind of magic, capitals. In the year 2024, the ozone layer is believed to have been destroyed. And it's up to MacLeod and Ramirez to set things right. Opposition comes from both the planet Zeist, MacLeod and Ramirez's homeworld, and a corporation profiting from the supposed lack of ozone.
Yeah.
Yep. Here we go.
That's dreadful.
I bet it's amazing.
It sounds like anything this film had that was good would be lost.
I don't know anything about the geography of Zeist, so I don't know if I'll have a positive comment about it.
Do you know, I think the main thing that's surprising me with this film is how quickly I've forgotten most of it. Because we only watched it about 4 days ago.
That's human instinct, though. Your body shuts down during traumas. You find that people who experience a traumatic event will remember specifics in great detail, but largely forget chunks of it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Oh man, you were just not on board with this at all. You know what if we were all together, that would be nice. And it was no pandemic and we could just drink all the tequila in the world and sit down and watch Highlander.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah. Then, you know.
I did at one point consider getting a beer just to take the edge off.
Man, you are not going to like my next film choice.
Highlander 2, The Quickening.
No, actually.
Grease 2.
It's a surprise.
Oh,
yeah, don't tell me now, because then I'll just dread it for the next 3 weeks.
Just get angrier and angrier.
No, it was about time we had one
film.
of these sorts of films.
So good. Oh, I love it. I could watch that again and again. Yeah, I watched it twice this week.
Yes, I can't believe you watched it twice this week.
Some kind of hobby or interest or something. Anything.
This is my new hobby. I'm just going to watch.
It's just watching Highlander.
Yep. Come up with fan theories about what everything means.
You'd need fan theories because they didn't fucking explain it in the film. Right, I've got a few more notes. In the final fight, where did the zip wire come from?
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Just, there's a zip wire. That'll do. What's Silver Cup? Was that an advertising thing?
Oh, I don't
know. They're filmmakers or something, are they not?
Nice. Yeah, so they were fighting on a massive sign that said Silver Cup.
You know, I think there was a lot of Coke as well.
Yeah, I saw a few Cokes.
Maybe the whole thing was just a big ad for Coke.
So funny how they were all drinking Coke in the 1500s. Yeah, that was weird.
No wonder they're all peeing their kilts.
Peeing their kilts. Oh. What a stupid expression.
No one has ever said. Oh.
Yeah.
That guy's a serious actor.
That
guy was in Game of Thrones.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the bear, or what's his face, from The Wall.
Oh, James Cosmo.
Yes.
Right. Who was he in this?
Angus.
Just the guy who was like, there'll be no killing, off you go. We'll banish him.
My cousin. The guy that saved him from getting beaten up and sent him
20
away
years
with a yoke still attached.
I was wondering when he was going to take that off. We never quite figured out when he did.
No, he did not.
Stupid. I'll tell you who I did like. I liked his girlfriend, his wife.
Heather.
His pretty wife, Heather. Bonnie Heather, who was like, I want you to fuck me all the time, or whatever her one line was.
You can do that to me forever if you like, my lord. Will you, Connor?
Aye, Blossom. I will.
And then... But it was nice that he stayed with her until, she was old. That was a good touch. Because I thought he was going to do what Sean Connery said and leave her. I was like, oh, fuck you. You can't just leave someone because you're not going to die.
Yeah.
But he stuck with her. Good job.
Yeah, that was nice.
Stuck with Bonnie Heather.
Oh. Nice that they didn't really put much effort into aging her, though. They just gave her a grey wig.
Yes.
She's 90 now.
Yeah, we'll do some makeup that sort of vaguely makes her skin look a bit disgusting. Yeah. That'll do it. Much the same makeup they used in Back to the Future, now I think about it.
Maybe there was a a wholesale or something in 84.
Obviously, what they should really have done is film that scene now, like Boyhood.
Yeah.
And only release the film in 2030.
That would really fuck up the sequel.
It would, wouldn't it? Well, they could release that only after the first one's done, right?
But it's set in the future in 2024. I'm sure there's a perfectly logical and worked out reason for that.
Maybe we should watch that in 2024, see how much of it's come true.
Oh, that would be good. I'd enjoy that.
I think we'll still have an own zone layer by then.
Well,
we should be alright.
You think?
Unless this evil corporation decides to destroy it.
From the planet Zeist.
From the planet Zeist. Why is Zeist? Weak.
Oh. What else did you like about it, Fernando?
I liked everything. I wish I could be more specific. I thought it was entertaining.
I'm so happy about that.
Yes.
Excellent.
It made my day.
It certainly was. Yay.
I would watch it again and again. Unlike Tales from Southland Tales or Tales from the Southland.
Yeah.
Which was just boring, and perhaps with a similar quality storyline. I thought they made a great job at it, and I do not know what else to say.
I think you've captured this film pretty well.
Did you like all the Scottish scenery? A lot of these films play on having nice sweeping landscapes. Was that something you guys enjoyed about it?
Yeah, I did like the scenes of Scotland. Like, Scotland, so far away, so nice, so green, so different from New York.
It is very different.
Yeah, I'd rather be here. That said, there were only like 3 or 4 scenes that were actually in Scotland. There was way too much stuff in New York and not nearly enough in Scotland for my taste.
Oh yeah, the Scottish stuff was the best part. I think.
Yeah.
Well, anything with Sean Connery is just guaranteed quality.
We should have had more Sean Connery,
more male bonding.
Yeah.
Extremely sexually
you like
charged.
male bonding in films,
I
don't you?
do.
I don't know if that's especially when it's sexually charged.
The quickening, yeah, we all know what that means.
Oh.
Apparently there's also a third movie.
There's also a what?
A third movie as Highlander 3.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Highlander 3, Lowlander.
The slowing. That was poor. Weak.
Oh, must just be Highlander, the Final Dimension.
Oh, God.
Highlander Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Highlander, the TV series.
God,
Highlander, the Source. Oh my god.
Wow.
It's like a whole appalling franchise. Each installment worse than the last. Nah, well. Appalling film, but in a funny way. This was a good crap film.
Symbolism time?
Yeah. Let's see what we can do with symbolism.
Symbolism.
That'll do.
We're the only ones that commit to that.
Yeah, well. Guess we're the only ones who care about symbolism. Any symbols?
Oh, come on. No. There were so many symbols.
0 symbols.
So many symbols.
The fact that he was Swedish, even though he was meant to be Scottish, shows how out of place he was in his society.
Oh, breaking the fourth wall there.
Yeah.
You're not telling me that they didn't know what they were doing when they were transferring the power over when, they were beheading someone. That was obviously... Come on. I saw the way that was acted.
That was sex. Okay.
Some sexy, sexy symbolism.
Yeah, so it's like them conquering each other.
Who knows?
In a sexual way.
And when Sean Connery and Thingy meet, suddenly he's dropped to his knees and there's loads of lightning.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of men.
For Sean.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he's like, that's a quickening. I'm like, oh, is it? But what does it mean?
You could be right. That's the terrible thing. You're probably onto something here that they actually were trying to achieve. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
I loved it when they were just running around on the beach.
Oh, that was my favourite part.
We even saw like a little extra clip of that at the end. Like, you played James Bond in like 3 of the most successful films of the 20th century, and you're doing this.
He seemed happy to be there.
He did. I think he commits, doesn't he, Sean Connery?
Good old Sean.
Like, I'm not going to do any accent other than my own, and I'm going to just look exactly like I do normally. But maybe I'll dress up, and you can have me in your film. He's a dragon in Dragonheart, isn't he?
Yeah.
A dragon with a weird lisp and a Scottish accent.
It's a shame about the CGI in that film.
Oh, yeah, that's poor.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think that I would correct.
That's the only thing, okay. Oh, we'll look forward to that one.
Why did they start being immortal at like 30?
Yeah, that's confusing, isn't it?
Just bizarre.
And also, like, because he said they've been clansmen or kinsmen or something for 20 years. So presumably he did age over that 20 years, and they weren't suddenly like, oh, wait, hang on, he's never aged.
Yeah.
Like, presumably...
Yeah, he must have been
young.
20 and, like, stopped aging. But Sean Connery wasn't 20.
Yeah.
No. Maybe he was supposed to be and no one wanted to tell him.
It's a quickening.
Yeah, that'll be it. It's because of the quickening.
Every time you kill another immortal, you age or something like that.
Wow.
Ooh,
See, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool premise.
Yeah.
So much they could have done with this film. That's not even a good idea. That's just an idea for something you could do. That's not just, I don't know, like swords that you break in half, but that are super strong.
Oh, why was his sword self-assembled?
Like, that's not going to be a strong sword.
No,
I know
that's
swordsman.
idea.
Flat pack sword.
And why did we need to see that he was getting a prostitute?
Well, when was someone getting a prostitute?
Because you need to know he's a
she
bad
comes
guy.
in and I suppose. She's like, I'm Candy. And he's like, of course you are. That's all we see.
Whatever that means. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a lot of unnecessary random sex references that don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh. Shocking.
Yeah, what else?
You seem to be like more negative about it now, Michael.
I think I'm more angry with it because it had something going for it. And that they could have made this a good film, but they just didn't. This could have been like The Terminator.
It gave me Blade Runner vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Terminator, Blade Runner, both films from around the same time with the same kind of actors, the same kind of action going on. But both of those films had like a lot of really interesting artistic direction going on. Both of them had the right amount of like funny dialogue and mystery going on, but enough that it would keep you interested and you could try and work stuff out. Whereas this was just... It was like they saw those films and said, oh, we could make one of those, but didn't have the the artistic merit
ability
to carry it through.
But they did have an envelope to write on the back of. So
yes,
fleshed it out pretty well.
A beer mat to write on the back of. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, I'm glad you wouldn't. Last question from me. Did Queen do all the music? Like, did they write original songs for this film?
Yes. They watched it and then write the rules, I believe.
Wow.
Because I think it was Brian May, was so inspired by the scene of Heather and Heather aging that he wrote Who Wants to Live Forever. That's what I read. It might be fake. Oh.
I mean,
I thought the soundtrack was great. I was so into the soundtrack.
It was pretty
didn't
good
make any
in a
sense
way,
because
but
it was like far better than what was happening.
And there's something about
Queen,
like the rock soundtrack that doesn't really match.
It didn't match at all. No, it was so
Highlands
jarring
and stuff. Yeah. But again, I guess it was like Sean Connery. They said, "Look, someone's said they're willing to be a part of this project. Should we just go with it, even if it doesn't really make sense?"
Oh yeah, if you can get Queen, get Queen.
Exactly. You can't just not get Queen.
You can, though. That's part of being a good director, is making the decision that although this would be really fun and exciting, it is not appropriate for this film.
That sounds like something a bloody Kurgan would say, Claire.
Yeah, well, maybe you had a point.
If I was any director for any film and Sean Connery was like, I want to do it, I'd be like, come aboard, Sean. Any film. Jaws. Any film. Schindler's List. Whatever.
Highlander.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Jurassic Park.
Bridesmaids.
We spared no expense.
Oh, he would be instead of Richard Attenborough, wouldn't he?
Yeah. He can play whatever part he wants. He wants to play Laura Dern. He wants to play one of the dinosaurs. I don't care.
I believe it as well.
I'm a dinosaur.
Oh, it's great. I just love it. I love it so much.
I'm really glad you do.
Yeah.
I really need you to understand there is just shit. Like
it's so shit.
But
it's
not
just so bad.
Not in a good way. In a what a waste of resource.
Claire has failed to see the funny side. And I'm a little torn, as I say. I got really bored in some bits.
So
I did by the end get a bit bored. You know, I was like, "Come on, let's speed this. Speed this up."
Where was it? Rotten Tomatoes has the site's critical consensus reads: "People hate Highlander because it's cheesy, bombastic, and absurd, and people love it for the same reasons." I feel like you shouldn't love a film for those reasons. That's not okay.
So here's one example. Do you remember when we watched The Mummy Returns? So the sequel to the Brendan Fraser film that was really good, but then they did this sequel, The Mummy Returns, that was they just threw everything at it, threw the whole kitchen sink. Had all this weird extra stuff. Had that like the one of the main characters from the first thing now has like a weird ancient Egyptian alter ego, and there's trains, and and then they decide they need to follow the mummy, so they get a Zeppelin, like before Zeppelins have been invented, and they fly this through like and there's these little sort of forest creatures that attack them, and there's just so much stuff in it. That was a great bad film. Like, it was dreadful, really badly written, but it was kind of fun as well. That was what I want out of a bad film, and this did miss a lot of that.
Okay.
Because parts of it, as I say, bits of it drag. Like, yeah, there's bits of it are fun, like naff, campy, like training montages and stuff. That's fun. That's what we want from a bad film. But at the same time, like 10-minute fight sequences that just repeat and go on and on. Like a scene where someone gets raped, and these weird other things that just kind of drag and are a bit boring. It wasn't good enough to maintain any of those things. A lot of those things can be in a good film and can work, but this just couldn't quite handle it. And I feel like if they'd realised how bad it was while they were making it, they could have made something of it.
Oh, I don't know. I see your point. I think I disagree, though. I think we want different things out of our bad films.
Okay.
I want, like, just jarringly out of place characters, dialogue that people clearly wrote while they were extremely high or something. I don't know or by people who just didn't really speak. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I want. I thought this was a better bad film than The Mummy Returns.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have the privilege of comparing them at some point.
I mean, it's Claire's choice next. You never know.
That's a good point.
I don't think she's going to pick The Mummy Returns.
You never
It'll be a curveball.
Be really pleased if she does. I've said everything I want to say about this film, I think.
Me too, I think. And if I don't, I'll just pick it again. We can talk about it again.
Any last thoughts from Fernando?
Have we said which is the link between this one and between this film and the last one?
No, I don't think we have. What was the last one? Boyhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the link between this and Boyhood, then. What was it?
They're just very different coming-of-age tales, aren't they?
Yes, so it takes him 350 years to come of age. Long periods of time. The impermanence of time.
Oh, actually, this film starts where Boyhood leaves off, doesn't it?
With someone getting high and deciding to write a film.
Well, no, we see the youth of Mason, and then we see the never-ending adulthood of whatever this guy's name was.
Connor MacLeod.
Connor MacLeod.
Yeah, so actually it's
the Clan MacLeod.
It's almost the opposite, isn't it? Boyhood is about growing up and becoming an adult, and this is about staying the same forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good link.
It is good. It also had, put upon women who just had to put up with a bunch of men's shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't have that as a link, because that will just be every film.
That's every single film. Well, thank you all.
Once a wrap.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I can't wait to inflict this. I mean, share this with everyone. At the film club. And I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you
all
enjoyed
in all,
it.
I'm glad.
It's nice to have a good complaint sometimes.
Yeah. Can't all be hits, and this is one on the way towards worst film next Oscars.
Yeah, I was just Oscar baiting.
A hot candidate there.
I don't know, I reckon Fernando will veto any worst film nominations for this one.
I really like this film. And I think that we should watch the second and third film.
Okay. So maybe Fernando will pick this one again next time. I'm done there if we want to wrap it up.
I shall play the music.
Claire, you're the last one in the hat. Do you have a film for us for next time?
I do. I don't know how easy it will be to get a hold of, but I would like to watch Gaslight.
That sounds possible. So there was a UK film in 1940, a US film in 1944.
Yeah, 44 is the one I was thinking of.
Great. Gaslight, 1944.
Wonderful.